Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So right now I am on my way to something called the RBC training ground. So essentially, if you don't know what the RBC training ground is, it's when they have all these events across Canada to find people to fund who they think have a chance to be future Olympians. So the way it works is they have all these events across the country, multiple in each province, and then you pick which one you want to go to. So I'm on my way to one today, to one of the tests. And after they test those thousands of people, then they take the top 100 and you go to the finals to do more testing. And then from that 100, they pick 30 to fund because they think that you have Olympic potential. So am I gonna make the top 100? Am I gonna make the top 30? I don't know, but the only way to find out is to try. So you can do it between ages 14 and 25. As you guys know, I turned 25 this year. So I don't know if they host these events every single year, but what I do know is that regardless of that fact, this is my last chance to do it because next year, even if they have another event, I'll be aged out. So yes, wish me luck, even though by the time you watch this, it will be over. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm allowed to film in there. So I might just have to give you a recap after the fact, but I'm here and I'm parking and I hope all goes well. Hello, long time no see. It is currently Thursday, October 31st. AKA 5.5 months since I filmed the beginning of this video. And a lot has happened in the last 5.5 months, and I'm gonna get you guys caught up. So I wasn't able to film inside when they were doing the testing. However, they did have photographers taking photos, so I do have some pictures, like a couple, maybe 2 or 3, that I will put on the screen as I narrate what happened. So essentially you walk in and you register and they give you a t-shirt as well as a bib number. So this is the t-shirt. It says RBC Training Ground, and then I was number 120. So essentially that was the shirt that I wore during the participation of this test. So when you first walk in, they did some like stats. They took your, I believe, height, weight, and wingspan, and then they started an organized warm-up. So at this particular event, they had 2 sessions. I believe there was a 10:30 session and a 12:30 session, and I chose the 12:30 session. So within my session, there were hundreds of people who were competing, plus people who had competed 2 hours prior, plus all the people who had competed all across the country. So there was a bunch of people taking part in the RBC training ground first round. And so there were 4 stations to test 4 different areas of athleticism. There was power, strength, speed, and endurance. So let's start with power. So power was a vertical jump. So here on my computer, I have my athlete report. And so basically on the day you had like your written results on a piece of paper, and then they digitized everything after the fact. So here is the digital version of the results that I got on the day. So let's start with vertical jump. Everybody got 3 attempts, and on my 3 attempts, I'm going to be saying it in centimeters because I'm Canadian and that's the unit of measure that we use. So my first attempt was 60.8 centimeters. My second attempt was 60.6, so slightly less high. And my third attempt was 62.9 centimeters, so I saved my best for last. And so if we look back at the testing results online, it not only shows my results, but it also shows the national average. So my result was 62.9 centimeters, and the national average was 53.88. So I was nearly 10 centimeters above the national average. So that's good. Yay, we're off to a strong start. So as I said, there was 4 stations and you would rotate through the stations. So I started with vertical jump, but other people could have started with the 30-meter sprint. So for me, I did vertical jump, then I moved over to the 30-meter sprint. And everybody got 3 attempts once again. And my first attempt, I ran 4.41 seconds. My second attempt, I ran 4.40 seconds, so slightly faster. And then on my third attempt, I ran 4.37 seconds, once again, just a little bit faster. So my best attempt was 4.37 seconds, and the national average was 4.79, which means I was 0.42 seconds faster than the national average, which I am actually very happy about because I'm a track and field athlete. So like what? I should be fast. And also for the vertical jump, I'm literally a long jumper and triple jumper. So if I don't have power to get up, then clearly I'm in the wrong sport. So my vertical jump and 30-meter sprint went very well compared to how the rest of Canada was doing. However, for the 30-meter sprint, I could have gone faster, I feel, except for the fact that I wasn't allowed to wear spikes. So if you don't know, the shoes that track and field athletes wear when they compete are called spikes. Contrary to popular belief, they're not called cleats, they're called spikes. And so obviously to level the playing field, they had everyone compete in running shoes because this event isn't just for track athletes, it's for any athlete. You could run track, play hockey, basketball, you could swim, you could be a cyclist, like any sport under the sun. If you're between the ages of 14 and 25, you have the opportunity to compete in one of these events. So it wouldn't be fair if all non-track athletes ran in running shoes because those are the only shoes that they own. Meanwhile, all the track athletes pulled up with their spikes, right? And the thing about spikes that makes you run faster is that you have more grip, so your feet don't slide back with each step that you take, if that makes sense. Like you dig into the track. So basically, I'm very accustomed to running in spikes. I almost never do sprints in running shoes. So if I was wearing my spikes, I would have run faster, but once again, I understand that they have to level the playing field. So that was my 30-meter sprint. Once again, above the national average, so I'm content with that. Now let's move on to the strength portion, which was the isometric mid-thigh pull. So for this one, I don't have any pictures of, but it's basically you have a handle and it's attached to this scale and you pull on it with all your force and it basically tells you how much force you are emitting. So it's like an upper body strength test essentially. And I also feel like it's also partially grip strength because it was hard to grip that thing. Anywho, so this one was measured in newtons, which is not a unit of measure that I'm very familiar with, but I'll still read you the results. Okay, hold on. Online, it says it's measured in newtons, but then on the result sheet that I have, like the paper result sheet that I took a picture of, it was measured in kilograms. So we're just gonna pretend that we're using kilograms, okay? So my first attempt, my force was 134 kilograms. My second attempt was slightly lower at 132 kilograms. And then my third attempt was my best attempt, once again, saving the best for last, at 137 kilograms. And then once again, if we look at the national average was 121. So I was 26 kilograms stronger than the national average. So look at me being above average. Love that for me. But then we get to the endurance test. And if you know anything about me, I do not have endurance. Like when I was in elementary school, I used to run cross country. I don't know why I did that to myself, but I, between the ages of 8 and 13, ran cross country every single year. Don't know how I didn't die because, fun fact, I'm asthmatic. So I don't know why I was out here doing cross country. But anywho, the endurance test was the shuttle run, or the beep test, or the pacer test, or whatever you want to call it. I call it the beep test. So anywho, when I was in high school, in gym class, you had to take the beep test. And I would always get to level 7 simply because that was considered an A. So if you went above a level 7, like that was just for satisfaction. Like you weren't gonna get a higher grade. There were no bonus marks. So even though like I wasn't necessarily tired after level 7, I always dropped out at level 7 because I was doing the bare minimum to get my A. So anywho, at this point, the last time I did a beep test, I was maybe 15. And now I'm 25, so I'm like, in 10 years, has my endurance gotten worse? I don't think so. I think it's better. No. You want to know what level I got to? I got to level 6.02, which basically means I ran back and forth 20 meters for 6 minutes. And when I tell you, I have not felt my lungs burn like that in years. Like, remember how I said the whole asthmatic thing? When I was a little kid, like I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 years old, I used to have an inhaler that I carried with me everywhere. And then as I got a little bit older, like, I don't know, my asthma didn't act up as much. So I was always playing sports. Like I used to play soccer. You're running around on the field for over an hour. Like you would think as an asthmatic person, I'd be puffing that inhaler. But no, like as I got older, my lungs started to like me more. But on this day, on May 11th, 2024, my lungs hated me. Like my legs weren't even tired. It was my lungs. I was literally wheezing. I was like, I haven't wheezed since like 2004. So yeah, my legs were fine. My lungs were not. So I dropped out at level 6 and I was so discouraged after that. That was my last event of the day. And I felt like I blew it. I really felt like I blew it because at the facility, at each station, they had like a banner of this is what the national average is. So throughout each post that I went to, I knew that I had beaten the national average because they literally had a poster telling you what the national average was. So after I did the vertical jump, I knew that I was above the average. When I finished the 30-meter run, I knew I was above the average. When I finished the strength test, I knew I was above average. And so when I dropped out at level 6 for the beep test, I knew I was below average. And so I was like, shoot, like I literally ruined it. So basically the national average was 7.22. So I was one level and a bit lower than the rest of Canada. My lungs could not take it. And so I really felt like I was doing well throughout the whole day. And then that really deflated me. I was like, yes, I did well in 3 out of 4, but I feel like some people are going to do well in 4 out of 4. And so I felt like that completely ruined my shot of making the top 100. And so nearly 6 months ago when I said, I'll update you guys later, the reason I didn't end up making an update later that day is because I was so disappointed because I thought that I blew it. And so yeah, that's everything that happened on May 11th, basically 6 months ago. So what has happened since then? Let me go through my email because these people have been emailing me on the regular. So let me just give you all the email correspondence that I've gotten from them since May 11th. On May 11th, I did my test. May 14th is when they sent me the photos that were taken of me at the event. May 15th is when they sent me the report that I just showed you guys of my results versus the national average. And then on May 30th, I got an email telling me that based on how I performed at the testing round, Climbing Canada, like rock climbers, Climbing Canada wanted to test me to potentially become a climber. So let me explain. The RBC training ground isn't solely to, hey, let's give away money. It's to give money to people who they think have Olympic potential, right? But let's say they think you're in the wrong sport. So maybe, hypothetically, they don't think I have Olympic potential in track and field, but Climbing Canada was like, ooh, she got that upper body strength. Ooh, she got that leg power. Ooh, this, that, and the third. Maybe she'd be good at climbing. So Climbing Canada, based on these little 1-2 tests, were like, maybe she could have Olympic potential in this sport. Something I've never tried. So essentially, if they think there's a sport better suited for you, they will basically refer you to that sport. So anywho, I get an email on May 30th saying that Climbing Canada, rock climbing. I need you to understand I'm afraid of heights. So Rock Climbing Canada was gonna contact me about doing a climbing test. Okay. Then on July 12th, so over a month later, is when Climbing Canada reached out to me. And long story short, they were basically saying that if they refer you to a different sport and you decide that you don't want to do that other sport, that doesn't automatically disqualify you from potentially making the top 100. So if they're like, hey, we think you should be a climber instead of a track athlete, and I say, nah, I want to continue to run in a straight line, then just because I decline Climbing Canada doesn't mean that my hopes of making the top 100 are over. That's not what that means. However, I was going to go to the climbing test, but I didn't end up going for 2 reasons. One, the climbing test was not free. It was $75. And I'm like, why am I going to pay you $75 to do something that it's not that I know I'm going to be bad at it in the sense that I don't think I have the skill set, but I know I'm going to be bad at it because I'm afraid of heights. I don't want to make it to the top of the wall faster than everybody else. I want to stay on the ground. I don't like heights. So I was like, I'm not going to pay you for something that I don't think I'm going to like. So that was the first thing. The second thing was this event was happening on the same day as provincials for track and field, which is my sport. So I'm like, am I going to skip provincials so that I can fail at rock climbing? No, I'm not going to do that. So I didn't go to the climbing test, although that probably would have been an overall just good experience just to try something new, but it clashed with something that I thought was more important. So then this was back in July and I made the decision I'm not doing the climbing test. And then August rolls around, I don't hear anything. So I'm thinking, okay, they gave me this climbing opportunity and I didn't take it. And it's been so many months. Like I did my tryout in May. Now it's like September. And I'm like, I haven't heard anything. I likely didn't make the top 100. So at this point, I thought that I was retired from track and field. Because if you've watched my previous videos before this, they're like track and field vlogs, and spoiler alert, my season over the summer did not go very well. And so I'm 25 years old and things hadn't worked out for me yet. So I was like, maybe it's time for me to move on. So my track season ended at the end of July. And so for all of August, I didn't do any physical activity because I was like, I'm retired. I'm not an athlete anymore. And then, on September 17th, 2024, I got an email telling me that I made the top 100. When I tell you the roller coaster of emotions I went through, because like I've been an athlete my whole life. I started my first organized sport when I was 6 years old, right? I did track and I also did t-ball. I started both of them in the same year and I don't remember which one I did first. I think it was track and field. So I started track and field maybe like February of 2005. And then that summer I played t-ball because my brothers used to play baseball. So then my parents decided to let me try. I wasn't very good at it, but I digress. So the point is, I've been playing organized sports for 19 years, and I really thought that I was closing that chapter of my life, and it was honestly really sad. And then I got this email from a bank. I don't know if I've mentioned this. If you're not from Canada, you probably don't know. RBC is a bank, Royal Bank of Canada. So that's how they have money to just be given people, right? So I thought like maybe I don't have what it takes. I've run my course. I've played sports for 19 years. I've worked so hard. I almost never miss a practice, this, that, and the third. Maybe it's just not for me. And then a bank tells me for the year 2024, I am one of the top 100 athletes in the country. I literally went from thinking it's over for me to someone saying, hey, we're potentially going to give you a bunch of money because we think that you can be a pro athlete. Like that, there was, if you've watched my vlogs on this channel from the past year, you could see the self-confidence leave me with each vlog I made, and my season was just getting worse and worse and worse. You could see me getting defeated with each vlog. And those vlogs were so hard for me to edit because watching myself be sad just made me more sad. And so I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I'm done with sports. And then someone's like, oh no, you're one of the best athletes in the country this year. Like, when I tell you, that is the confidence boost that I needed. And I haven't made the top 30. So like, I'm not guaranteed money. But the point is, top 100. Do you know how big of a country Canada is? It's very big. Okay. And I'm in the top 100. Like, that is absolutely crazy to me. When I got that email, I literally just stared at my computer for like 10 minutes. I was like, ain't no way I'm reading this email correctly. Anywho, so they sent me this email, and basically you had to confirm that you were going to attend the RBC training ground national final. And if you go to the national final and you perform well, and then you make the top 30, then you get the money, right? So I'm reading through the email, and I'm like, why would I not confirm? Who is out here being like, nah, I'll pass? What? No. When I tell you I filled out that form so fast, it basically was a link to a Google form or whatever, and it was pages on pages on pages, and I did everything. Usually, if you know me, I'm a procrastinator, okay? So they sent me this email on the 17th, and they said that the deadline to register was the 21st. If you know anything about me, I'm the type of person that would definitely wait until the 21st to start filling it out. But not that day. Not on September 17th. I was like, nope, I'm doing it right now. Yes, I will be attending. And they asked for information like your clothing size and stuff because they were going to send me like a tracksuit and all this stuff. I'm like, what? This is all official or whatever. So yes, I filled it out on the spot. I'm going to read you this email real quick. I'm just going to read just the first bit. Congratulations, Olivia. Your performance at RBC Training Ground has earned you a spot at this year's national final, scheduled for November 2nd in Halifax, Nova Scotia. You've trained hard and it shows. Over the past several months, athletes like you from across the country participated in RBC Training Ground qualifying events, and we're bringing the top 100 together to compete against one another for the chance to receive funding and continued support through the program. To be selected within our top 100 is a big deal, so get ready. Your journey to the national final begins now. And so, as per this email, the national final is on November 2nd, which is in 2 days as of me filming this. I'm going to try my best to post this tomorrow on November 1st. I'm going to try and edit. But basically, it's almost 11 p.m. on October 31st, and I fly to Halifax tomorrow. So essentially, they're flying everybody out. Like, if you're from Nova Scotia, then you, I guess, just make your way to Halifax, like you drive yourself or whatever. But if you're from one of the other provinces, then it's an all expense paid trip. They paid for my flight. Like, as part of the Google form, you had to like give them your name and date of birth and all of that so that they could book your flight for you. And literally 3 days later, they sent me my boarding pass. So yes, I am making this video, this part of the video, which is long overdue, because I want to give you guys the good news before I actually take part in the event, because the event is happening in 2 days. So I need to edit this video and put it up tomorrow so that you guys can know about it before it happens instead of after it happens. So yes, it has been nearly 6 months of will I get it? Will I not? This, that, and the third. And I did make the top 100. And the thing is, as I said, I thought I was retired. So I sat on my butt for all of August. And for the first half of September, I was sitting on my butt because I'm like, I don't need to work out for 5 hours a day anymore because I'm not a high performance athlete anymore. And then I got an email on September 17th. And on September 18th, I was back at track practice. I pulled up, I went to my coach. I was like, hey, so remember how I said that I was gonna quit? Well, I'm actually not. So I have been back to training as of September 18th, and I've been training pretty much every single day. I took the past couple of days off because I've been like lifting and stuff, and I felt a little bit sore. So I went to practice Monday, Tuesday, and then I didn't go to practice Wednesday or today on Thursday, and then I'm leaving tomorrow on Friday. So I took the past couple of days off because I don't want to be sore when I'm competing, because I want to be able to perform to the best of my ability. But basically, I've been at practice every single day since I got the email. Every single day since I got the email. Basically getting my fitness back up because I sat on my butt for a month and a half. And so, yeah, I really thought it was over for me, but maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is a sign that it is not time for me to give up the dream of potentially going pro. And so, yes, that is what has gone on so far in terms of the RBC training ground. As I said, they wanted my sizing and stuff to send me some gear, and I did receive that box. I picked it up from the post office last week, and in the next video, you guys are gonna see me try on my RBC training ground kit. So this is the plan. I'm gonna try and upload this video on November 1st, and then I'm gonna try to upload me trying on my tracksuit on November 2nd, which is also the day that I'm gonna be competing. So we're gonna see if I end up doing that. Basically, I'm gonna be editing this video on the plane. Yeah. So I wanted to share the good news with you guys because the last you saw of me, I was very unhappy with how my track and field journey was going. And I have been, like, with this channel, I don't only want to share the good things and the highlights of life. I don't want this channel to be a highlight reel. Life isn't great all the time, and I wanted to showcase that. However, it was getting a little bit too sad because every single video I made, I was sad at the end of it because I didn't perform well. And so you guys endured with me through all the sadness. And so I wanted to share some of the happiness with you guys. And I know I haven't posted in a very long time because this channel has kind of morphed into a track and field channel. I've had this channel since I was 17, 8 years. And it used to be I'm gonna post whatever I want channel. And in November 2023, I decided to document my journey to hopefully going pro as a track and field athlete. And things were up and down because that's just how life goes. And so since I had changed my channel to only talking about track, well, when I thought that I had retired from track, I was like, well, then I don't have any videos to make. And then I got this news. So now I have videos to make. So yes, I know that this video is very long, or at least I think it is. I don't know how long it'll be after I edit it, but yes, I really wanted to share the news with you guys because this actually gives me the confidence that I've been missing. Like, I really thought it was over for me. And now I have this new opportunity to prove all of the hard work that I've been doing day in, day out for 19 consecutive years. Like, yes, I've played different sports. I did track, then t-ball, then soccer. I played a little bit of basketball and volleyball when I was in elementary school and high school and stuff. And then I eventually came back to track, and I've been solely focusing on that since I was like 13. And so it's like, the point is, I've been in athletics nonstop since 2005. And I always thought that that would be my thing, and that is what I would succeed at. And this past year, I started to feel like it wasn't meant for me. And then as soon as I thought that, I got what I consider to be a sign of, no, girl, you're not done yet. So for those of you watching, and if you got to the end, thank you very much for getting to the end. Please wish me luck. Wish me luck because there's 99 other great athletes who are going to be there. Like, I'm not underestimating anybody. Like, all of us earned our spot into the top 100. And so this isn't like, oh, easy breezy, walk in the park. Like, no, I am competing against other talented people. And so my goal is to do my best. And that's the best that I can do. I can't do more than I can do. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to enjoy the experience, and I just want to feel like I did everything I could. That is my goal. And if I do that, then I will be happy. Like, this is a great experience that only 100 people per year get to try. And I am one of the 100 people in 2024 who gets to have this experience. So yeah, that is all for this video. See you guys tomorrow, hopefully, in my next video if I edit it fast enough. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you guys for bearing through my sadness for the past year. And I'm glad that I could share some happiness now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because there's going to be a lot of RBC training ground updates in the next couple of days and in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.